So have you guys ever heard the old story, winning by losing? Winning by losing? Have you heard it? No? So I think everyone can kind of relate to this to a certain degree. So all of us, if you've been in martial arts for any long time, any length of time at all, then everyone has fantasized about, you're walking the store, you're walking out of somewhere, and someone jumps you. And you try to go after your kids or your wife or your, whoever you're with, and you do these miraculous moves and you save the day. And you feel like you're the hero. Right? Everyone's had that thought. If you guys haven't had that thought, then I feel sorry for you, because it's always a nice, fun fantasy to have when you're feeling down. It empowers you to have things like those thoughts. But so this individual, the story goes, this individual who has those thoughts because he's a martial artist, he's going, and as he's driving, he cuts this person off. And he doesn't realize he cut this individual off. He was just driving. He didn't mean to be an ass on the road. He wasn't trying to do road rage. He's just driving, and he cut somebody off, and it was an honest mistake. The guy that he cuts off starts following him and rides his ass and is flipping him off and saying all these negative words and getting behind him and I'm gonna kick your ass and this and this. And he's like, fuck. You know what I mean? So now he's thinking, well, this is that moment. This is that moment where I'm just gonna have to tear off and whoop this old boy's ass, and I'm going to be the hero. He pulls over to the side of the road or into the parking lot, and the other guy pulls up and he gets next to him. He jumps out of his car. And he's like, get out of your car, you worthless piece of shit. I'm going to beat your ass and blah, blah, blah. And every other thing you can think of. So he gets out, but he gets out on the other side. He goes to the passenger side. And as he gets on the passenger side, he calmly puts himself in the car between him and the person who's making these hateful comments. The guy keeps going and saying he's going to, what he wants to do and kick your ass, etc., etc. He finally looks at the guy and says, what does that solve? What does it solve? He goes, so you come over here and you kick my ass. I already told you I was sorry. I already told you it was my fault and that I'm sorry. I did not mean to cut you off. It is my fault. And it was quiet. The guy says one more negative thing, gets in his car and drives away. So it's up to you guys. Did he win or did he lose? Right? But either way, the objective that he wanted was still the same. Right? Sometimes things like that, you guys have to think about things like that. Because I think a lot of times we're in this world where we think that this idea of winning is so important. And I think there's winning, losing, and not losing. You know what I mean? And I think having that one more day to spend with your family or your loved ones is more important than kicking somebody's ass. It's not like if you beat somebody up, you're going to get an extra day of your life. You know what I mean? And if anyone's ever been in a real street fight, everyone gets hurt. Both parties are going to be hurt. Even the one that wins is hurt. There's no way around that. Both people get hurt. And I don't know that, I think it's one of those things where they say that the highest form of martial arts, and again, this is written in ancient text, the highest form of martial arts is to use your skills and to win without fighting. I think if you're studying ninjutsu, the one thing that you have to pay attention to is all element. And everything, sometimes people think that, well, the elements are like earth, wind, water, fire, void, sort of thing, like the fire in the fire pit. Okay. But those element manifestations have an essence to them that carry across all different realms, whether that's a physical realm, a mental realm, an emotional realm, a spiritual realm, and you can still use fire techniques mentally or physically or emotionally or spiritually. And to be able to understand and utilize the different techniques, whether it's earth or wind or water or fire or whatever this particular methodology is, or right, it's still use it to a way that helps you gain what you need to do in that moment. And if you can do that without hurting someone, I think that's always the best bet. If you're studying the way, and when I talk about the way, we talk about the way of the samurai, right? But the idea of that, it isn't a methodology of me judging you when I'm like, you shouldn't be doing that. I want to make this clear. There are these preset I don't want to say rules, but guidelines. Now, perception is a matter of perspective. So some of them are based on your perspective, what you believe those words to be, right? None of them is belittle somebody else. None of them is hurt other people that don't believe what you believe. But people don't live by that code anymore. So when I say you guys shouldn't be doing this as an instructor, I'm not saying it because I'm judging you as a person. It's not like Christa is looking at Sean Tall and being like, oh honey, your ass don't need to be doing that. Like, that's not the way I'm putting it off. As a teacher, I'm saying, okay, you're dedicating yourself to the school and in the training. This is what we're supposed to be going by. So we need to get, back on the path. Don't get off the beaten path. Bring it on back. But you guys see how many people truly study, practice. There are people who like to watch the videos. There are people who like to buy the books and things of that nature, right? But they're not truly going to actually practice and study and dedicate themselves to that. We know this because how many people show up that much? How many people are in the schools and all this kind of stuff? Not that much. And that's not just this. That's not just the Budo. Like, damn near every martial arts school that you go to, like, there are more people that are interested in X martial art than the people going to that dojo. I promise you. It doesn't matter what martial art. There are more people that love watching MMA on TV than actually go to an MMA school. There are more people that love watching the karate movies than actually study karate. There are more people that love the ninja video games and the ninja movies than actually study ninjutsu. That goes across the board, right? So that's not just Budo Ryukai. That's every martial art. Because people like to be entertained. They don't want to have to put forth effort. They truly believe knowledge is power. And that's something. How many of you guys have read a book but you don't know what the fuck you read? All right? Yeah. Isn't it something how some people believe that if you study ninjutsu, if you read this book, you have all the secrets of ninjutsu. Like ninjutsu is black and white, and it's as shallow as a piece of paper. Isn't that something? That same mindset of the people that like to use the Bible to hurt other people. They clearly aren't reading the book. Because I believe somewhere in that book says you should love your neighbor, or love yourself, or something along those lines. I don't read that book, I'm gonna be honest with you. I just know some of the key points of that book. That book ain't on my bookshelf, but I'm using it as an example. It's a popular book, okay? It's a very popular book. But you know what I'm saying. Shit. But the people that use that book, that judge other people, I know that book somewhere says you shouldn't be judging. Like, judge not or you will be judged. Right? The same people that use that book to hurt other people clearly ain't reading the goddamn thing. Didn't you find it the same way in everything? Like, I love it when you're like, well, you shouldn't be doing that with your kid. You shouldn't raise your kid that way. You shouldn't do that. Oh, you have children? Oh, no.
Oh, man.
Oh, well, why are you saying that? Well, I remember reading that book, What to Expect When Expecting. It's the same thing. You have these people that in the world of martial arts, you have people that literally, and not that the books are wrong, I don't think there's anything wrong with reading a book. If you guys find one book, if you think it's going to fit your fancy, kind of thing, you might be interested in to read, there's nothing wrong with reading a book. I'm not going to stop you guys from reading any books. But just the same, I'm not going to tell you to go buy one either. Because it's not for me to do that. As a teacher, I think it's shitty for you need to buy this book. No, I'll say I think it's nice if you're going to be my student. I think it's nice if you buy my books. But you can buy other books too. Whatever one you think is going to fit your fancy. It's okay. But again, you got to be prepared of your mind. Because what you take in does shape the way that you see things. Absolutely shapes the way you see things. And you can't take that back. You absolutely cannot take it back. So when you read books and you're searching for answers, sometimes people believe because they found a answer, that is the answer. And that is incorrect. That's why we have a lot of people that are very shallow. They're looking for an answer. And they'll accept any answer, even if it's the only answer they find that has to be the right answer. But there's so many things out there that doesn't really have a answer. They just have a solution. a solution, which isn't the same thing as an answer. Right? People just can't get around that. Whether it's in the world, in the physical world, right? How do you do this? How can I build muscle? Okay. Well, I don't know. More people buy weight loss pills than jump their fat ass on a treadmill. Right? How can I lose weight? More people buy those pills than jump their fat ass on a treadmill. I wish I had the answer to fix all these kind of problems. These are the kind of things I think about because I sit in a dojo all the damn day long, every day. And I kind of come up with ways to help the students. And I know that I'm not going to actually help anybody's problems. You just try to hope. I just hope that I can kind of guide in the right direction, you know? But I sure as shit ain't all knowing. I make my own mistakes. You know? But I truly believe in my heart that if you dedicate yourself to the way, again, that way ain't my way. It's the way. And you follow the code, and you train in the warrior arts, and you dedicate yourself to the cause and to the what it is. I think you find yourself, and you find the true meaning of why you're here. You know what I mean? I guess that's the kind of question. It's like, well, what are you here for? Right? What's the meaning of your life? Well, you might not know what your purpose is. But if you know what your passion is, then you find your purpose. You follow your passion, you find your purpose.